Welcome back to They Did What? Your source for that's craziest, most entertaining stories where I go over them, analyze them, and most certainly make fun of them. Today I can do a story titled, Hardest Week of My Life, I Left My Girlfriend of 4 years. And a shout out to Mr. Arkansas for sending over this story. And guys, this story is about a young guy, only 22 years old, who does the right thing upon finding out that his girlfriend of 4 years was cheating on him. Instead of acting like so many guys I've covered in stories recently, this guy has integrity and self-respect and dumps her right in the spot. And here's the funny part. Take a wild guess what happens a couple months later. As I always say, and you know it, they always come back. Because these types will leave a good guy like this and have fun with the bad boy on the side, and the bad boy gets rid of him, and they come crying back. And what I like about this guy is on multiple fronts here is that this guy, you're going to see, and I got to say this here in the beginning, this guy obviously really loved her. Thought he had a future with it, which happens to a lot of young guys. But even that, he still gets rid of her. And he then works on self-improvement, all the things I tell you guys to do. And by the time she's back, even though, he remembers the good things, nope, not happening. And that'd be a great one to go over again, is how to handle things right. So, starts off, says here, Hi guys. So I'm 22 years old, and I made a post 2 days ago saying I took the decision to leave my girlfriend of 4 years because she admitted to having you-know-what with another guy. Well, background here. I met her in my first year at university. Beautiful girl, made my world go crazy. Made my world go crazy nice. We fell in love. Her parents took me into their care. My parents live abroad, and we basically lived together for 3 years. I eventually got my own apartment, and she would stay a couple of months with me. Well, there you go. They got their, for lack of a better term, little love story there. Their young romance. You can see this guy was on cloud 9. Would never think she would do what she's going to do. The relationship was basically too perfect. Rarely argued, always went on great dates. I made her discover the place where I grew up, Hong Kong, and I discovered most of Asia and Europe with her. Everything was so perfect. Yeah, when you have these relationships where it seems like everything's just too perfect and the couple never argues or disagrees on anything, no, you can't have two people together and they're not going to disagree on something or butt heads. Because something like that will be too boring to a lot of young women, to women of all ages. And they got to go find some excitement that the bad boys will give them. When my friends asked me how it was being in a relationship so long, I always said that she's the best thing that ever happened to me. I always cared about her, couldn't wait to call her or to hear her voice. She lit up my life. She was basically the reason I was happy with my life. I gave her everything I had. Smack! That's one thing I disagree with. No, you do not make your girl the end-all, be-all of your existence. That's a terrible idea. But again, this dude was really young. Many guys have done that. I've done that shit when I was his age. Yeah, I'm admitting it. I did it. And I learned. But remember, our guy handles things right. Well, basically, she had to do an exchange semester from September to January, and I told her to go to Shanghai, knowing China as I did. I knew she would have a good time. University was hard for her there, hard for her here. It pained me to tell her to go, but I wanted what was best for her. She left last month, and 2 weeks ago I realized she wasn't texting or calling as much, and always going out to nightclubs with her friend group. I didn't mind this as I wasn't worried and knew she was happy doing so. Smack. Long distance things don't work. And you see, he's trying to be a good boyfriend. I want you to have a good time. I want you to go because I'll help you with your studies, have fun, make friends, all that. The problem is with somebody with no integrity like her, look what's going to happen. And notice already, 2 weeks she's gone, and already she's not reaching out to him as much, and blah, blah, blah. And what could happen with a young girl that age, 21, 22, going out a bunch of girls' nights, the club and all that, getting plenty of attention because she's in her prime? Well, the next day she called me crying, saying she hugged a guy that was into her when drunk, and she felt horrible about it. That's a steaming pile of crap. No girl's going to call crying because she hugged a guy. More like, I think maybe he misinterpreted the word hug for something else, the guy. She could not see him as he was in her class and friend group. She just told me she wouldn't talk to him and didn't care about the guy, and that she loved me. I did everything I could to try and fix this, called her a bit more every day, even 1 minute from time to time to check on how she was doing. That is too much. You guys are apart. You're just bombarding her with attention. That's going to turn off any chick. And I might add, well, I'll come back to that later. Well, then about a week ago, she called and said that she kissed the same guy. Oh, how interesting. The same guy she's bawling her eyes over hugging him, now she's kissing him? Yeah, that's code for something else. And she felt horrible about it again. I was meant to go and see her in 3 days. I felt something was off and was suffering so much I couldn't understand how she could do that to me. And 3 days ago, she admitted to me, knowing something was up, that she had what with him that same night, and I ended it right then and there. Shocker. First the hugs and the waterworks, then the kissing and the waterworks, and now she's hooking up with a guy. Now, I wonder if it was the same night. Yeah, clearly the same night she said that she kissed him, then she admitted later hooking up with him. Nope, over and done with. He should have dumped her when she said she kissed him, but it seems like that was all a big whirlwind at the same time. I don't know. But good for him. You're darn right he should have dumped her because she was cheating on him. This guy's been a great boyfriend to her. Really has been treating her well, too well, in my opinion. And even though it's breaking his heart, we're done. A lot of guys wouldn't have done that. A lot of guys would have handled it a different way. Good for him. Guarantee you she wasn't expecting that. Well, I called her parents and went to get my stuff and drop off her stuff an hour later. Her parents were both crying and took me in their arms. Holy crap. They probably saw this guy as a future son-in-law. As soon as I went into her room, I did collapse and cry. It's where everything started. Where I had my first time with her, where we spent hundreds of nights hugging and being in love, all for it to finish this way. I had a feeling she may have been his first time. That attachment. It's been 48 hours since I've talked to her. She hasn't even messaged or tried to call me. Ding, ding, ding. Pay attention to a woman's actions. I felt like she wanted me to end it with her. I don't get it. How can someone change so much in a month? I don't think she changed, amigo. I think this is who she was all along. And now you're seeing it. I knew her better than I knew myself. Bullshit. I knew something was off the day she was about to announce that she cheated. I knew her too well for me to accept that this happened. I'm so lost right now. I feel like I lost everything. I had future plans in my head for her and I. I wanted to marry her and spoil her and have kids with her, blah, blah, blah. I don't get it. It's so tough. Everything reminds me of her. Every single space in my apartment brings back memories, and it just destroys me. I can imagine, but yet he still dumped her. That's the great part. A lot of these guys be crying and calling her back, we can work it out, honey, and all that shit. Even though it kills him, he's getting rid of her. Remember, guys, he's been with her 4 years. That's a nice chunk of his life. I gotta admit that here. If you lived through this, how would you overcome it? It's destroying me from the inside. I love this girl so much, I couldn't have loved her more and done more than I did. Thank you for taking the time to read. It makes me feel better writing and hearing your feedback. It really helps. So before I go into part 2, which proves they always come back, and our guy here is going to have the last laugh, even though he doesn't want to have the last laugh, I will say this, that I think it's great he wrote this out to Reddit, and Reddit gives him all sorts of good advice, And by the way, I'm going to read a few things that some of the commenters said, literally predicting what's going to happen here. But he wanted to know how he gets over it. The way a guy gets over something like this is not getting back on the horse dating right away. He focuses on himself. I say this all the time, but I got to say it because people are new here. You hang out with people that care, like your family or your bros, and focus on school, your purpose, your grind. Exercise, get outdoors. It's tempting to stay inside and wallow away in misery and listen to sad music and drink a lot of beer and eat a lot of junk food and get fat. No, don't do that. Or you can have one weekend you do that, then get the fuck out of the house. Exercise, purpose, all that. That'll make a man feel better. Trust me. And wait till you see what he does. Now, I'm going to read something here. Here's a couple comments, literally predicting what's going to happen. One guy says here, hang in there, bro. You did the right thing, even though it was hard. The likely scenario is that she'll be back in 6 months when things don't work out with the guy or the other guys. Do not fall for her waterworks and take back a cheater. You'll have the last laugh, even if you don't want one. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking there. And by the way, he did ask, well, how could she do this to me? Why would she do this? Because she's 22. She's in her prime. She's over in China, and he says she's from Europe, so they're all like, oh, yeah, we got ourselves a blonde or something like that. Love the attention. Who knows? But that's just who she is. A lot of them are like that. Another guy says here, wait until she finds out that dudes don't chase taking women for relationships and she just wanted to hook up a few times, or he just wanted to hook up a few times and moves on. She'll realize she threw everything away for nothing. Whole comment section's full of that. And he responds to one of the comments saying, I just unfollowed her everywhere and deleted her Snapchat. Good. It was so hard, and that's what I'm starting to accept. That she probably, most likely, did more. I hugged some girls during nights out, like everybody does. I never felt bad about it and never told her because I never thought anything about it. I think her crying was a sign that she did way worse than she could admit, unfortunately. Yeah, I mean, people seem to hug each other more than ever nowadays, and girls probably hug this dude. Probably a lot of girls like this guy. But nothing was more than that. Now his update, 2.5 months later. He says here, I need help. Cheating ex is begging me back. Hi guys, I need your help. 2 months ago, I made this post. Basically, my girl of 4 years with who I had the best loving relationship cheated on me a month and a half into an exchange. She's basically now messaging me after 2 months of no contact, just as I was healing, going to the gym almost every day. It made me fall right back into it. She's back. Do you hear what he said? He's going to the gym every day. This guy's focusing on purpose and grind. That's what he should do. Well, my mind is messed up now. It's like I know I don't want her back, but I don't know why my mind is playing games with me and messing with me, trying to tell me to take her back. And maybe it's to take her back if she's changed. Don't worry, he's not, guys. He's not, but that's what happens. The last memory I have of her before she left was just pure love and happiness and trust. I was thinking of marrying her. Now I need your advice and support, if you guys have any, so that I can come back when I have doubts and read them to give me the strength to keep my dignity as a loving man who deserves more than being cheated on like trash. Life has been very tough recently, really. Now, that was the end of his post. A lot of people commented. But now I'm going to read a very long comment he had in response to show you what he's been doing, more details, and don't worry, he's not taking her back. But again, a lot of people go through the roller coaster of emotions. They're like, I'm never going to talk to that bitch ever. And then the next day, like, oh, I miss her. Remember, you guys fall in love with a girl you thought she was, not who she is. Now, his response to this update was, thanks, man. I know I want to be alone now. I'm fighting a war in my head, but deep down I know I can't take her back and that it's over. See? He knows. I've already changed so much in the last 2 months. I used to drink a lot, but not dangerously. And I stopped completely. I go to the gym every day. I started taking motorcycle lessons, waking up early, going to bed early. I changed everything. Hear that? Discovering a new hobby, motorcycles, gym every day. He shouldn't do it every day. He could take one day off. Instead of staying up all night, he's going to bed a decent hour, getting up early. The early bird gets the worm. He's stopped drinking. These are all positive things. Grind, purpose. That helps him get over her. I really thought I could have made it out easily, and it's so damn hard to be messed up with it this much. I have so much stress in my life, so many hard decisions to make. Got a tough job as an engineer, which is so stressful when young. Stuck in a place I don't want to be because I stayed here to wait for my ex. Parents are on the other side of the world. I got cheated on in my previous relationship too. My parents almost divorced because of cheating happening, and it's traumatized me. It's tough. I've got good friends who I thank God every day for, but I don't know, I feel so lonely in my head. I feel like I'm fighting wars with myself I don't deserve to have. I don't know how I'm not going insane, really. I really don't deserve this shit happening to me. I generally think I'm a good guy. Why is this all happening? I just wish I could erase my emotions and feel nothing and do just stuff. Just going to look down and move step by step for now. That's all he can do. But he's been doing a great job after 2.5 months. He still is like, nope, not happening. But again, she reaches out. 2.5 months later. And I'm guessing this guy never ever reached out to her. And I bet she was shocked. But again, it's been radio silence from her for 2.5 months. But clearly, Chatter Tyrone, or I don't know, what's Chad and Tyrone? Chang and Wang? Chang and Wang were done with her. And now she's back. And wants to have fun with this guy. Not fun with him, but get her guaranteed. This guy was her safety net. Nope, not happening. Good for him. And he's conflicted. He's hurting. It's other side of the world from his family, but still he's not caving. And that's really good. So guys, that is how you handle things. Unlike a lot of these guys in these stories here. And I'm be very interested to see how things go down the road. Because it didn't work when she reached out the first time. I guarantee she'll be back again and again begging. The intensity of her begging will rise big time. Now, a few comments here from the comment section, really giving him some advice here not to screw it up. One guy says here, don't be a tool. She'll betray you again and again. Your shell-shocked brain is in defense mode right now, forcing you to nostalgically remember the pure love and happiness and trust you had and the fool that you were. I'd recommend you cut all contact with her and get on with your life. She's just a virus. Stay away. Well, that's not really a fair comment because that's what this guy's been doing. Clearly, he hasn't contacted her. He's been doing a great job. 4 years after a breakup, when you're young, the whole young love shit, that's hard. And he's doing great. Another guy says here, here's the deal. There are people who stuff their face with terrible food, live sedentary lives, lack willpower, discipline, or any semblance of self-control, who despite that will cry and lament the fact that they are overweight, out of energy, have health issues, etc., and say they want to be different. The point is, begging for something or saying you want it and doing that what is required to get it aren't anything close to the same thing. It's the reason gyms are packed on January 5th and empty on March 5th. Words are cheap and meaningless, and when words don't match actions, never believe words. In other words, don't believe the bitch. So, the whole comment section's full of that, but that's not the main part of the story here. So, anyhow, good for him. And again, guys, for those of you guys maybe are going through a breakup right now, who knows, something similar, and I'm sorry for that, just remember, focus on yourself. Don't listen to people that say, give her another chance. Don't listen to people that say, get back on that horse after you have any time to recover from the heartbreak and the shock of the change of your life. Focus on yourself. Focus on things that make you happy, learning new things, your grind, your purpose, your bros, the gym, all that. Reduce things that are poisonous to you that, like if you smoke, stop smoking. If you drink a lot, at least cut it down a lot. Stuff like that, and you're going to be okay. But sadly, I think this guy also learned you can't make your girl the center of your universe. So many guys do, and they don't know any better, and they get burned. And it was always interesting in these stories. These guys who are generally good guys really treat their girls well, some too well, and the girls will leave them for guys that treat them like shit. Not the funny part. They say they want a good guy, a nice guy, someone that treat them well, and they get rid of that guy and treat him for a guy who's just a scumbag. But that scumbag gives them the excitement. That's the thing, the butterflies. And sadly, they will destroy everything in their path to get that excitement. And then this is why you never feel bad for them. So good job to this young guy. At 22 years old, he has the light years ahead of guys in their 30s, 40s, and 50s having the same thing happen to them. So I'm proud of him. All right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. And guys, you find a good story I want to cover, send it my way, strongsuccessfulmail@gmail.com. And if it's a good one, I'll definitely cover it. And be sure to like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.